Jim Gordon here in the offices of the Richmond Sentinel. Time for another edition of Richmond Stories. Well, continuing our partnership with our friends at the Richmond Sentinel and another Richmond story. We're out in Richmond at the location of Drive Motorsports, and we are here with the director of this wonderful establishment, Patrick Lee. Patrick, thank you for having us here right in the middle of this beautiful showroom.
Well, welcome, Jim. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is a place that we've built over the last couple of years, and we want the experience for our clients to be very, very unique.
Well, yeah, we should get into that. You guys have been here, and we're sitting right in the middle of the showroom since 2018, but it kind of grew from your other company in 2015. Let's start there with the other company. In
2015, we started King's Auto Lease. That's the leasing and financing business, really direct to dealers and clients as well. So we had an office just across the street, and then this grew out of this in 2018. So we had Drive Motorsports was created in 2018 with this first renovations, and then additionally we had the offices and obviously double the showroom.
And it's funny because you are tucked away here, aren't you? Like just off number 3 road, kind of in central Richmond, but because there's no massive amount of cars outside, but obviously people know of you.
Well, we have the showroom is important for us. It gives an experience that's very unique. We have some cars parked outside, but most of the nice cars are parked inside. So all the cars get moved through the night, overnight, and then back into our storage facility. So we don't have a lot of traffic that's off the road. However, once you hear of us, you'll see it and you'll experience this.
Well, let's talk about the experience for your customers. There's so much that you do. As I said, we're going to get into some of the brands that are right near us here that are mouth-watering here. Talk about the experience that you do for someone come in, because you and I were talking before we went on camera about how people like yourself are kind of rewriting or reinventing the wheel, pardon the pun, of what it's like to buy or lease or sell. For
sure. With technology, a lot of people are kind of going towards that route. But having said that, with vehicles, you really want to experience it. Sit in the car, smell that leather, drive it, test it out. So it goes far beyond you make click, 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 I'm going to buy a car. We do obviously leasing and financing that's structured and just for that client. So if they want a shorter term, longer term, it's really tailored for the client. But having said that, the experience is really ultra important for us. Without the experience, we don't have the repeat business. So the relationship is far more important than just that one sale to us.
I should say, being out of Richmond near the airport, you're going to hear that. We're right in the pathway. This gets created in 2018, and we all went through our own version of this. But of course, from 2020 to about even to today, COVID, the lockdown, the economy. How does the economy affect the business that you operate?
You mean with customers looking at buying cars, and obviously being in the Lower Mainland, we do have a great transit system. But however, I think people like getting to their cars and getting to work in their cars, or driving on a nice cruise up to Whistler, or heading down south into Seattle. So being in the car, I think, is a fun thing to do. It gets your adrenaline going. It's on a nice day like this. It's awesome. So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of the beautiful vehicles and the models, the brands you have here. One of our segment producers, Neil, who's with us as a car guy, he was drooling all over that Aston Martin behind us. I'm sure he's going to try to steal it, but let's start with that vehicle, and you mentioned some of the other fine brands.
We're not going to call the police on him on that.
Okay,
we'd appreciate that. We did call his banker to get payment. So, Aston Martin's done a great job, and typically Aston Martins, you're used to the sports exotic vehicle. With this segment, they've come up with a SUV. It's really a bang out car, sport SUV. It can go fast as heck, and the drive and the styling is very, very unique. So Aston Martin's did a very good job on this vehicle.
What about the, I noticed we've got some Lamborghini action as well.
Correct. We have exotic vehicles, as you see, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Mercedes with an EV as well. They came up with this EQS, which is a full electric vehicle. And we have cars at a lot lower price point as well.
Yeah, we should mention that too. So
we're here to
not all
serve
high. Yeah.
you mean clients of all ranges, and not just cars that we have here, and cars from we can source vehicles for clients as well. So I mean, whatever they want. I mean, cars are very, very passionate in terms of being in it and driving in it. So it's more far-reaching than just four wheels and a steering wheel.
Yeah, and I just wanted to touch on something you just mentioned too about some of the things that you do for the customers. As I said, you help them through. You find the vehicle for them, right?
Yeah, a lot of clients are looking for unique vehicles. Sometimes they're very hard to find. Classics are very, very popular these days as well. So I mean, the market's really global now. So it's not just Canada or it's not just BC. It's into the U.S. and we have clients who order vehicles or find vehicles into Europe as well. So.
Interesting. Let's talk about, I have to mention, Florence, one of our other producers, mentioned these pictures you've got on the wall here. Tell us about those and the fabric.
Well, when we did the design of the showroom, we wanted it to be very unique. I mean, when it comes to giving the customer a feel in terms of when they're here in the showroom, it's very important. So it wasn't just some gaudy pictures up there, so it was some thought that went into it.
Yeah.
And the black and white kind of textures and the fabric kind of gives it a different feel. So we have another one with a little bit of motion on this canvas as well. So I mean, it's a different design, and yeah. So we're not just catered to one brand, so we just can't put up a Honda or a Mercedes or a BMW. So that's
pretty excellent. And do you see expanding in your future, depending on the state? I mean, as I said, the economy can affect everything. So
I mean, during COVID, quite surprisingly, people are still buying cars.
Yeah, yeah.
Over the last 6 to 9 months, we've seen a little bit of increase in interest rates, which has obviously added to the cost of vehicles. But again, we're going to give our best rates to our clients and what fits them. So when it comes to interest rates, it will fluctuate up and down.
Well, it's another Richmond story, sponsored by our friends at the Richmond Sentinel. And Patrick, it's been great to come out here today, and I'm going to sit in a few of these vehicles before we leave here today.
Please do.
Patrick Lee, you can find out more information. We'll have all his info in the closing credits. Patrick Lee is the director from Drive Motorsports here in Richmond. Patrick, thank you again.
Great.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Jim.